Okay, let's jump right into this explainer. Today we're tracing the absolutely fascinating, sometimes chaotic evolution of the goalkeeper. We're going to look at exactly how this role completely transformed from a static, isolated shot stopper into this highly dynamic 11th outfield player. It's a brilliant story filled with tactical innovation, a few eccentric personalities, and some forced rule changes that literally altered the beautiful game forever. To really appreciate this journey, we have to contrast the traditional keeper of the past with the towering playmakers we see today. Picture the 1960s. The average keeper was about 5'11". They were dealing with these incredibly heavy, waterlogged leather footballs, and their job was basically to stay on their line, catch the ball, and hoof it as far away as possible. Total isolation. But today, the modern goalkeeper averages around 6'3", and they are crucial possession recyclers and sweepers. They're literally expected to be as comfortable with the ball at their feet as your average central midfielder. Section 1. The Early Mavericks, Breaking the Static Mold. Now, a transformation this massive definitely didn't happen overnight. It actually started decades ago with a few true visionaries who dared to step out of their penalty boxes. Tracing this back, we hit the 1950s with Hungary's Gyula Grosik and the legendary Lev Yashin. Then we roll into the 60s with Argentina's Amedeo Carrizo, and eventually reach the pure, unfiltered chaos of Colombia's René Higuita in the 80s and 90s. These guys brought so much flair to the pitch. You had Grosics acting as an extra defender behind Hungary's famous 4-2-4 system. Then Carrizo revolutionized the physical gear by being the very first to regularly wear gloves, all while figuring out that goal kicks could actually launch attacks. And Lev Yashin, still the only keeper to ever win the Ballon d'Or. He was a fiercely vocal leader who rushed attackers to spark quick counterattacks. When they asked him his secret, he claimed it was having a smoke to calm his nerves and a strong drink to tone his muscles. I mean, imagine that today. And of course, Higuita famously dribbled way up the pitch and pulled off that mind-bending scorpion kick. They were brilliant, but you have to remember, they were the exceptions, definitely not the rule. Section 2. The 1992 Catalyst. The back pass rule changes everything. So the isolated genius of those early decades was suddenly forced onto everyone by a huge systemic shock. After the 1992 Euros, where teams like Denmark essentially broke the game by wasting time endlessly passing back to their keepers' hands, the back pass rule was born. It officially outlawed keepers from picking up intentional passes from a teammate's foot. Overnight, it was an adapt or die scenario. Keepers had to use their feet. This caused absolute widespread panic. Former England international Alan Hodgkinson complained bitterly that the new rule was making a mockery of his profession. And you can see why. Traditional keepers had spent their entire lives mastering their hands, treating footwork as an afterthought. Suddenly, they're getting tackled in their own box and gifting open goals just because they literally didn't know how to kick a moving ball under pressure. Which brings us to the big question. How on earth did the profession survive this sudden, terrifying demand to become outfield passers? How did they bridge that massive gap? Well, Manchester United's Peter Schmeichel really led the charge in England. He was incredibly proactive. Seeing the writing on the wall, he demanded to participate in passing drills with his outfield teammates. Plus, he used his youth background in handball to aggressively sweep the box and invent his famous star jump save. Schmeichel didn't just survive the rule change, he weaponized it, using these massive long throws to instantly launch devastating counterattacks. Section 3. Forging the Sweeper Keeper. The Dutch Influence. While Schmeichel adapted mostly through sheer athleticism, the true tactical blueprint was quietly being drafted in the Netherlands. This gave rise to the official sweeper keeper. Now, to pull this demanding role off, a player has to absolutely master what we can call the 7 traits of success. Listen to these. You need speed and agility, an excellent first touch, elite vision, vocal leadership, rapid decision-making, traditional shot stopping, and above all, crucial anticipation. And those 7 traits of success didn't just emerge in a vacuum. Legendary manager Johan Cruyff envisioned this 11th outfield player as the final piece to complete his philosophy of total football. Later, Louis van Gaal took that and perfected it at Ajax. The focus entirely shifted from just aimlessly hoofing the ball away to actively retaining possession. If you were restarting a play, you had to find a teammate. Simply clearing the ball for distance wasn't good enough anymore. The absolute poster child for this Dutch system was Edwin van der Sar. Because he actually started out as a defender, his unflapped composure and precise passing became the gold standard for what elite clubs wanted. He wasn't chaotic, he was cold, calculated, and brilliant. He even won the 2008 Champions League final penalty shootout for Manchester United through meticulous research into opponent habits. He proved that the modern keeper relied on brains every bit as much as brawn. Section 4. Manuel Neuer's Revolution, the ultimate libero. So the sweeper-keeper concept hits the 21st century and reaches an entirely new echelon under Pep Guardiola. Enter Manuel Neuer. He didn't just play the role, he took it to the extreme. Acting as a proactive deep-lying libero, Neuer allowed Bayern Munich and the German national team to severely compress the pitch. Because his anticipation and speed were so elite, his defenders could confidently push up to the halfway line, trusting that Neuer would suffocate counterattacks before they even started. Let's really put that into perspective. Just think about this number for a second. 59. During the 2014 World Cup round of 16 against Algeria, Manuel Neuer registered an astonishing 59 touches of the ball. For a goalkeeper in a knockout tournament match, that is a frankly staggering amount of involvement. But here is the craziest part. 21 of those 59 touches happened entirely outside of his 18-yard box. He was out there making slide tackles, clearing danger with his head, acting like an extra center back. That single game cemented his legacy and basically changed global scouting standards overnight. Section 5. The modern 11th player, data and the new reality. Neuer's total dominance proved that world-class reflexes now had to be paired with elite passing skills, and managers became completely ruthless in hunting down this specific profile. When Pep Guardiola got to Manchester City, he famously exiled Joe Hart. Now, Hart was an elite shot stopper, multiple Golden Gloves, but he was dropped instantly because his distribution wasn't up to par. Guardiola brought in Claudio Bravo just for his passing and eventually found perfection with Ederson, a keeper so incredibly confident he regularly receives passes right on his own goal line just to bait the opposition press. You can clearly see this shift in the data. Traditional, long, hoofed passes from goalkeepers in Europe's top 5 leagues have plummeted. Back in 2018, 48% of their passes were long balls over 32 meters. Today, that's down to just 36%. Modern keepers are heavily prioritizing short, controlled passes to keep possession. And as long passes drop, the sheer volume of overall passes is surging. 8 years ago, you'd see a keeper attempt maybe 15 passes a game. Today, the average is 20. Look at the Bundesliga. Keepers there are now averaging nearly 24 passes per game. They are vital cogs in the machine, shifting the ball side to side, just waiting for the perfect opening. But we definitely have to acknowledge the dark side of this, right? This evolution comes with massive heart-stopping risks. When teams play out from the back, center backs split wide on purpose to draw the opposition press in. This leaves the goalkeeper as the primary playmaker under intense, suffocating pressure. Because of this, just one misplaced pass or a slightly heavy touch gets punished instantly. It usually results in a highly exposed, embarrassing goal. The margin for error is practically zero, which leaves us with one really fascinating question to wrap up this explainer. In our modern obsession with creating the perfect 11th outfield player, where managers are totally willing to drop elite shot stoppers just because they aren't passing like Prime Iniesta, have we pushed this tactical evolution too far? In the endless quest for passing perfection, have we actually forgotten the most important job of the person wearing the gloves? Something to think about. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time.